I'm going to share with you my slow seduction coaching funnel. This is the exact process that I use to enroll every one of my coaching clients. The reason I wanted to share this is because a lot of new coaches think that you need to use like slick, manipulative sales and marketing tactics to somehow like bait and switch or fool people into spending money on coaching, into enrolling in a coaching program without really adding any value to the client. And that's just not true. It is true though that lately, especially last couple years, I'm seeing a lot of what I would consider to be bait and switch coaching funnels. Let me explain what I mean. What is a bait and switch coaching funnel? It's where coaches dangle some precious resource, idea, or service in front of the prospect, which is, you would call that the bait, and they're using that bait to get the prospective client to commit time, money, and energy to their coaching. Then after the prospect has actually committed and usually freed from their money, the coach gives them a second-rate product, resource, or coaching service. That's the switch, of course. Often this bait and switch mechanism centers around discovery sessions. The coach offers a fantastic sounding coaching package during discovery session, and later they provide a program that doesn't at all reflect the bait that they dangled. In fact, in some cases, the discovery session is the bait. In that case, a coach claims that the discovery session itself is the solution to the client's problem, only to use the discovery session as nothing but a sales pitch. Let me give an example. I recently signed up for a discovery session because the coach claimed it would help me get all my emails delivered to all of my students' inboxes. And I have thousands of students around the world. I won't go into the detail of it, but the bottom line is I sent a lot of emails to a lot of students, and it's a key part of my business with them. And so I sign up for this discovery session with a ton of enthusiasm. I'm thinking this session is like the key to solving my problems, right? So during the discovery session, this coach asked me a few questions about my email situation, how I send emails, and then they proceeded to pitch a $6,000 service in exchange for solving my problem. No value given during the session at all. No helpful advice, no breakthroughs for me, just a sales pitch from my new coach. And in retrospect, they were really nothing but a salesperson. I mean, I felt like Wile E. Coyote after the Roadrunner let him off a cliff. Since my new coach obviously wasn't a credible actor, I broke off that particular coaching relationship immediately. Now look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't offer $6,000 coaching programs. But lying about the value of one part of your coaching funnel, like the discovery session in this case, in order to sell another part of your coaching, I mean, that just has no integrity. Coaches who use that kind of bait and switch coaching funnel, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot. It's definitely a disservice to their potential clients. And it actually really hurts the coaching industry because people really get jaded about coaches in general because they use those kind of tactics. Anyway, in that situation, I realized I'd been seduced into a one-night stand with this coach, even though I was looking for a serious relationship. They used all their little tricks to manipulate me for one night, and they attempted to get what they wanted in the short term for me, and then they just bailed out on me. So if you use bait and switch tactics, don't be surprised if your clients don't stick around. Bottom line, don't expect to extend a coaching relationship past the seduction if there's not actually any substance behind it. Smoke and mirrors simply don't hold up for long. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to provide your coaching clients with much more than a one-night stand? Me too. But you still need to be seductive enough to attract the client, right? So here's a different seduction strategy, for lack of a better word, to get coaching clients. Now, this is my process. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a perfect fit for you or your coaching practice or your style. It's slow. It's actually still exciting, but it's not about tricking anyone. There's substance behind my particular style of client seduction. In fact, the sole purpose of my seduction strategy is to move towards a sincere marriage proposal, if you will. Slow seduction, not a one-night stand. In fact, most of my slow seduction coaching funnel defies conventional marketing wisdom. Conventional salesmanship would say, hey, strike while the iron is hot. You better move fast or you're going to lose the sale. Instead, I do the opposite. I slow things down. The enrollment process isn't about making a sale, it's about making a significant impact. Conventional salesmanship says you need to get full commitment and money from the prospect prior to giving them any real value. Instead, I actually like to give tons of value right up front with no obligation. Now, to be fair, some people will take advantage of that. If you're using this strategy, let them do it and go elsewhere. Conventional salesmanship says lock the client into commitment up front and make it hard for them to escape. Instead of that, I offer lots of off-ramps throughout the entire enrollment process. If somebody wants to stop at some point, it's easy for them to get off the ride. Conventional business practice says keep things hyper efficient and drastically limit the amount of time and resources that you give to a client. Instead, I like to give more and more as the coaching relationship grows. Now, to be fair, both approaches that we're talking about here can work. Both approaches can create a successful coaching business and even successful clients. So don't think that I'm saying you can't employ a variety of marketing and sales tactics to enroll coaching clients. The fact is, actually, manipulation works. That's why so many people, coaches included, are manipulative. The slow approach is just my style. Now, how does my slow seduction coaching funnel work? I'll give you the steps. First step, I call the coffee date. Now, when you first meet someone in real life, going to coffee is kind of a comfortable and easy step, right? And so what's my coaching version of the coffee date? We just have a casual phone call. Usually lasts around 30 minutes or so. By the way, this call is not a coaching session. What do we do during that call? I just ask a couple questions about their goals and their problems. I get to know them a little bit. There's really nothing at stake at this point in the relationship. I have nothing to sell them. The client hasn't committed to anything. I mean, the coffee date is just a chance to get to know each other. And by the way, sometimes potential clients will ask me, well, I don't know if I want to sign up yet. And I have to actually reassure them that we're just literally just going to talk on the phone. There's nothing that they can't even buy anything from me at that point. They can't even enroll in coaching with me at that point. That actually settles them down usually. But it's a surprise because it's like counterintuitive. It's like they've never actually experienced talking to a service professional before without a pitch somewhere in that first conversation. So I think for some of them, it's a little weird. Now you might be asking, well, Jeff, you call this the slow seduction coaching funnel. Where's the seduction in this? The questions I'm asking help me to begin a needs analysis at that point, so I can determine and recommend what next steps we might take together, coach and client, if any. Questions like, hey, what's your number one goal? What's the biggest challenge that gets in the way of that goal? What do you think is the solution to that challenge? So although I'm really upfront about that secondary gain from our conversation, this whole coffee date style of conversation, it still feels like just two people becoming friends. And you gotta be friends before you can be a client. Now, why wouldn't I just run a discovery session on that first call? Because a really worthy discovery session takes more time and energy. So a short, casual, just get to know you conversation allows me to limit the investment that I make up front prior to actually determining if we're a fit to work together. So I don't have to waste my time and energy beyond that casual call in a discovery session if I know it's not going to be a fit. And I can discover that right up front. It allows me to limit my investment prior to determining if we're a fit to work together. So the point is this: why waste time trying to help someone if it's not even going to be a fit? Now, I didn't make this distinction early on in my coaching business. When I first started my coaching business, I would spend hours with every single prospect, even when I could have quickly discovered that they really weren't a good fit for coaching. Now, I don't use so much time and energy, nor do my prospective clients use a lot of time and energy if it's not going to be a fit. But if it seems like it's going to be a fit, I proceed to the second step, the relationship. Now, assuming that the coffee date went well, it's time the relationship gets more serious. So what's the coaching version of a serious relationship? I send an email to that prospective coaching client that I recommend that they schedule a discovery session with me. Now, my discovery session, it's a bit different though. I actually charge for discovery sessions. Why? Because we've already formed a comfort level between coach and client here. And the client has really a good sense as to the value that coaching might bring them. So they're really ready to go ahead and make a commitment of a little bit of money at least. And there's no obligation. I don't charge a lot of money for it, but they still pay me for that session. And that's important. The session's not refundable. That way I know my date has now put some flesh in the game of our coaching relationship. Because I don't want to invest more time and energy into just like a one-sided affair where I'm chasing them down. I'm not interested in stalking them. So what does the client get in exchange for their investment in a paid discovery session? Here's what they get. I'm going to play full out, giving whatever time and energy is required to deliver a tremendous discovery session. That discovery session isn't just like a sales pitch, like I said, like a bait and switch. It's a legitimate, standalone coaching session that is valuable, might even say priceless, by itself. In fact, my commitment to a client that signs up for a 1-hour discovery session with me is that that session alone will be life-changing for them, whether or not they do anything else with me as their coach ever again. Bottom line, that discovery session is a legitimate, standalone coaching session, valuable all by itself, without the need for my client to buy anything else from me ever. There's no obligation to continue into coaching after that session. And in that single discovery session, I'm committed to change their life for the better. And I'm going to give them more value than any conversation they've ever had with another human being, at least within that time frame. Bottom line, that discovery session will be worth 10 times what they paid for it. Now, how does that work out coaching business-wise? If I change their life for the better and they walk away, I know they're probably going to refer clients to me. I know that they'll talk about their coaching experience with me in positive ways. And I also know that this discovery session will probably lead to further clients down the road. And I know I got paid for my time. I'm good at that point, even if they never sign up for ongoing coaching. And by the way, the client is just as well off. The client feels great because they got tremendous value for their investment of time and money. And they feel zero pressure to continue with coaching. Everybody wins. By the end of that discovery session, if I decide that an ongoing coaching relationship is what they need, I move on to the third step. Let's call that the marriage proposal. The marriage proposal brings a slow, seductive courtship to a sincere conclusion. By this time, in our coaching relationship, I've given insane amounts of value. We've had at least 2 conversations, one of them being the actual discovery session itself. Now, at this point, it's appropriate to make a real marriage proposal. Now, what's the coaching version of a marriage proposal? I propose that my coaching client commits to a long-term, ongoing coaching relationship. And even though I make that marriage proposal at the end of the discovery session, we usually set a separate additional conversation to talk about options and clarify the coaching relationship. Because by that point, we're both usually pretty exhausted from the discovery session itself because we've probably both been playing full out. So we schedule that additional call. By the way, if they don't show up, if they blow me off, that's totally fine. If they show up to that next call, but they just can't make the coaching happen, they can't afford it, there's something that's a boundary for them, that's totally fine as well. And if they show up to the call and sign up for coaching, but they back out later, that's fine too. But you know what? By the time 90% of coaching clients arrive at this point, that logistics call following the discovery session, they agree to move forward with some form of paid ongoing coaching with me. So what's the downside of the slow seduction coaching funnel? There's really one big downside. Well, first, it's slow. The process takes a period of weeks or even months to complete with most potential clients. Now, partly that's due to my schedule being booked around 30 days in advance, so it takes a while to get all these things scheduled. And I have lost a few prospective coaching clients along the way as a result of that alone. So those couple times that a prospective client has bailed on this process, they usually tell me that they got impatient and they sought out some other coach who probably pounced on them instantly, as some coaches do. I actually wonder about the potential clients that had such urgency that they just couldn't wait for that coaching call with me. I mean, were they really in such an urgent mess? Did they even care who their coach was? I really wonder if they were ready for the caliber of coaching that I actually provide. Whatever the answer, I really don't think I lost such a great client. Either way, when I lose a potential client to their urgency reflex, I usually feel like I dodged a bullet. I mean, if it wasn't going to be a fit to work together, I'd rather avoid enrolling the client in coaching with me in the first place. Just working with the cream of the crop and making sure that nobody's wasting their time, including me, that works pretty well for me at this point in my coaching career. And that way my tribe is attracted to me organically. Anybody not in my tribe, they're out. And by the way, that's great for both of us because that way they can go find what works for them. No desperation, no bait and switch, no bullshit. By the way, the slow seduction coaching funnel works in several other ways. It's no pressure. I never feel like I'm pressuring, tricking, or misleading my prospective clients. There's plenty of time for me and my prospect to get comfortable creating a coaching relationship together. And the process itself makes coaching with me attractive. What do I mean by attractive? Let me explain. A comfortable and easy enrollment process helps me get clients in another way. All the people that refer clients to me, they know that whoever they refer to me, that they're going to be treated well. They're going to be treated with trust and respect, whether or not we work together. All those referrals have a positive, satisfying, and valuable experience with me. And I love that. I love knowing that I'm providing value to both the client and any partner or other referral source that's sending that client to me. Everybody wins. Now, that seems like that's what most any coach would want, right? For the people they serve to feel comfortable sending them more and more coaching clients. I mean, why would I send you a referral to sign up for your coaching if I know that you're going to put them under pressure? If I think that you're going to make them inappropriately uncomfortable? If I expect some kind of bait and switch? Yuck. That's the problem with those bait and switch tactics. No one wants to send you clients. Clients don't get coaching, and coaches don't get clients. Everybody loses. So my slow seduction coaching funnel, it's fun. Since I'm not under any pressure to enroll a client in the short term, I get to know them, I explore their world, I find ways to help them. That feels great. The client gets lots of value compared to the time and money that they've invested with me, and they feel free to decide what's next in their journey. And you'd be surprised at how often that pleasant coaching experience is reported back to referral sources and partners. My slow seduction coaching funnel, it's authentic. I actually get to be myself during the enrollment process. No used car salesperson vibes, no overly zealous marketing or promotion, no desperate beggar mentality. The client can also be themselves because they know that anything they decide is okay with me, even if they decide not to proceed with coaching. I honor and respect the client exactly where they're at. I accept the client for who they are and who they're not. The feeling is 100% courtship leading up to a marriage proposal. The client feels 0% one night stand. The client feels 0% bait and switch. And once I'm married to you as my client, I give you everything I've got. I provide amazing coaching sessions where I'm 100% present with you. I coach with every ounce of energy, answers, magic, and transformation available to me. And between sessions, I send insanely valuable resources to you. You're constantly on my mind so that when we're back together in a session, I deliver even deeper support. As a result of that, my coaching clients stick around for years. And I actually wonder how many bait and switch coaches have 2, 3, 4, or 5 year coaching relationships with the majority of their coaching clients. The way I see it, when 2 people get married, if it's a really good fit, that marriage lasts a lifetime. It transforms that couple's lives, their families, and the people around them. The right marriage has great upside, and so does the right coaching marriage. The question is, what is it going to take for you to attract a lifetime client? What process is required to attract the best marriages for you in your coaching? I've got my process. It works for me, and I can sleep at night like a baby. What's yours? Now, if you're interested in learning my entire slow seduction coaching funnel with all of the conversations, templates, dialogues, emails, etc. that are involved with that process, then just go here and I'll tell you more about it. And by the way, if this video has been at all valuable to you, go ahead and hit the like button. Helps us show YouTube that these videos are making a difference for the people that watch them. If you want more of these videos in the future, just hit the subscribe and the bell icon and I will send you a notification when the next video is available and we've posted it, which will probably be in a few weeks. And I'll see you in the next one.